Good afternoon, friends. Today's topic is the problems in international trade or global trade. So let us discuss what are the problems before an exporter and what problems they are facing while conducting international trade. Like, first one is globalization. Globalization is the biggest threat, though it is appreciated by developed nations and many parts of the developing countries or least developing countries. So again, I would like to say globalization is the biggest threat to local players. Small scale industries or small and tiny industries are there, small players are there, or MSME, medium-sized enterprises are there. So they are facing lot of problem in case of international trade because challenges are greater. Like in domestic market, it is a sort of restricted or you can say protected by the government. But when either they are going outside of the country or people, or you can say MNCs or TNCs, they are coming into India or their country, so they are facing lot of problem. Like in case of Maruti Suzuki, they brought their small car into India and later on they added many products in their product profile. Ultimately what happened, established players like Hindustan Motors, their product was Ambassador, and Fiat, they vanished from the scene, and ultimately you can say those plants were closed down, and ultimately you can say loss of employment, and you can say loss of whipping out of local players. Then in globalization, competition is intense and tougher. New players are coming with new technology, new R&D, new product profiles, many new features, and because they have an experience or they have a financial prowess, all these factors, they are making them you can say superior than you can say established local players. And then they have also dominance in R&D to great extent, or they have also investing in India or many other parts of the world in terms of FDI, in terms of new ventures. So ultimately, or you can say, it is a sort of it may be an opportunity for local players or established players, or it may be a biggest threat. So like in case of Ambassador and Fiat, it was biggest threat, and many new ancillary units came into picture, came into operations. They are supplying their spare parts to Suzuki, Hyundai, Kia, and many more small players out there. So they have learned how to change themselves according to new situation or whatever environmental factors out there are changing. Then you can say we can say that in 1991 liberalization LPG program was executed, liberalization, privatization, and ultimately globalization. For that we have talked about, like liberalization in terms of openness of the economy, restructuring of our economy, and privatization of the economy. So ultimately it is a sort of an opportunity also, it is a sort of also biggest threat to established players because they are you can say facing new type of challenges. Ultimately, if they want to survive for longer period, they have to alter, they have to face competition. Okay, second one, biggest problem is foreign exchange problem. While they are exporting and importing, they need a lot of foreign exchange to meet out, or you can say buying the material, buying know-how, or you can say any technical collaborations are there, or they are buying any new technology, plant and machinery are there, services are there. So certainly foreign exchange is needed, badly it is needed. Then in case of foreign exchange, cost of capital may be higher. Cost of capital may be higher in establishing or running their you can say installations or factory premises, or to create infrastructural facilities in the country. Then there is a, you can say, there is a crunch while they are conducting their operation. There is a crunch of talent flight is there, or skilled problem of skilled worker is there. They are not getting trained worker. So at a shop floor level, they are getting problem, like trained workers are not there, skilled workers are not there. If they are available, they are available at higher prices. Then in case of export and import or international trade, global trade, we can say all that glitters is not gold. All that glitters is not gold. Okay, so it was said by Shakespeare, and it may you can say it needs a lot of hard work. It needs a lot of hard work while they are conducting a foreign trade or international trade. There is a fast innovation. Fast innovation is a sort of dangerous to survive for the companies. Dangerous to survive for the companies, because fast innovations are there in terms of innovations, in terms of computerization is there, digitalization is there, e-commerce is there, or we can say that it is a sort of robotization is there. Robotization, it is again a very costly affair, and their operators are needed to run and to operate robots are there. Ultimately, you can say cost of robotization is very, cost of innovation, cost of in buying new machines, and certainly money is needed, foreign exchange needed. So we can say that in each and every category or products and services, innovation is faster and faster. Pace is higher one. So ultimately, you can say if they are going to innovate their plant and machinery or process, certainly they need a lot of money. And ultimately, if they don't have, they may face a lot of problems or threat, or you can say competition from established multinationals and established global corporations. And we can say that again, I would like to add one, like artificial intelligence. It is being applied, it is being used to great extent all over the world. Ultimately, if we are switching over or applying the instruments where artificial intelligence is being used, so again we need you can say trained employees, trained workers, trained or we can say that is skilled manpower. And initially, since artificial intelligence is in its inception, except computerization or except or supercomputer, it will take time to be becoming a sort of familiar with new technology. In the meantime, we have to wait, and ultimately, if we want to switch over to artificial intelligence devices, and we have to pay lot of money, and we have to invest a lot of money. Then dynamic and changing environmental factors, they are also making the things risky, uncertainty is there, unpredictability is there. Like new factors are there, government policies and programs are there. While we are exporting, we can face problems in our country, domestic market, and we may face in other parts of the world. Other parts of the world like where rules and regulations, they are completely a different experience, different concept is there. So we may face legal problems, legal processes, legal procedures we may have to follow. And another one like political system is there. Suppose we are going to export to Afghanistan, or you can say in Gulf. So ultimately war infested areas are there. So ultimately our export is exported directly or indirectly. Unpredictable political system, if it is there, certainly it has a clear-cut impact on international trade or foreign trade. Then another factor may be there, you can say competition may be there. Again competition, then customers may be there, multinationals they are coming. So certainly they are making a competition very intense and tougher. And another one, level of technology, as we talk about that it is innovation. For that it is very overnight we cannot change the level of technology. Like in case of developing nation, like in case of South Africa, or least developing countries like Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, or Maldives are there, and several nations in African continent. So ultimately problems are getting worse in case of, you can say, technological advancement. They don't have foreign exchange to foot the way. And geographical factors may be there. Geographical factor terrains are there, or what type of weathers are there, climates are there. Ultimately you can say an exporter has to take cognizance of geographical factors. And another one very important, demographic factor. Demos means people, and graphic means study of demographic profile. And you can say in terms of male and female, in terms of their literacy level, in terms of buying you can say their behavior and their, you can say, background, and all these things have to be studied by a sort of a strategist of the company, of the organization. Another very important factor is the economic factors. Like if purchasing power is not there, people are, you can say, belong to lower state or poor state, ultimately they have to face a problem. There should be a sort of market nexus between product and between market. So if a market is not there, so an exporter has to develop market also. If product is not there, so they have to develop product also. Or you can say foreign exchange, level of foreign exchange, or export and import is there, and they have also to study like what is the position of balance of payment, balance of trade, and you can say purchasing power, per capita income, industrial growth rate or agriculture growth rate, and large number of factors are there which are compelling an organization to behave in one direction or other direction. So economic factors, ultimately they are you can say backbone of any country, and these factors cannot be negated, cannot be ignored by the players. And another one, like and again I would like to say about government rules and regulation and legal system, like bureaucracies. The bureaus means run by bureaucratic or babus, and they are, you can say, a sort of a mindset, clear-cut mindset. Mental inertia is there. Red tapeism is there. Slow work is there. Slow work, or their pace is not up to the mark. Mindset not to work. Delaying tactics may be there. Ultimately, the cost is going higher and higher, and being borne out by the importer or exporter. Ultimately, or you can say their consignments, their product profile becoming costlier to great extent. And then like any delays are there. So delays in case of you can say procedures are there, or you can say any in getting licenses are there. So ultimately whole process is affected. International trade is affected, global trade is affected. Ultimately, or you can say it is a sort of whatever mindset is there, mental inertia is there. So such type of things they are becoming biggest speed breaker in the progress of international trade. And then in third world countries or least developing countries, there is a problem in case of infrastructural facilities. They are not proper, and again such type of problems are there. Again delays are there, proper roads are not there, railway facilities are not there. Forget about airports are there. A shipping structure is not ports are not available. All weather ports, seaports are not available. Ultimately deep sea if deep sea ports are not available, the big ship cannot be there. They cannot come, and ultimately if it is there, the problem is of vacating whole ship. It takes 2 or 3 days in case of developing countries, whereas smaller nations like Singapore and Philippines, they are instrumental in vacating their whole ship within 15 or 16 hours. Ultimately they are becoming biggest threat to established player. Later again they are poor in case of supply chain, logistics. They don't have established system of supply chain. Proper roads are not there, proper vehicles are there, cargo system is not there. So ultimately they are adding to the cost of consignment to be exported or to be imported. And then like lack of cold chain, like in case of India or third world countries or like least developing countries, they are facing problem of cold chain. So it is the biggest issue while we are importing or exporting a perishable item. So ultimately like in case of India, 50% of the production of fruit and vegetables and milk even. So it is becoming you can say going to rot and going to create a problem. So if we can establish processing industry, it can be a great facility for farmers or growers. So such type of things must be taken into cognizance by the exporter, by the businessman, and government of respective countries. They have to take care of. And then like processing industry, if we can establish infrastructure of processing industry in every nook and corner, in every district, certainly if we can save 50% of production which is going to be wrought, ultimately it will add up to the revenue of the government and revenue to income to the farmers kitty. And then again there is a problem of supply of electricity, and players, they don't get uninterrupted supply. Ultimately it is adding to the quality of product, quality of plant and machinery. So they need uninterrupted or you can say consistent power supply, without any fluctuation, without any problem, without any interruption. Ultimately they can say problem, if any problem is there, problem faced by the you can say players of international trade. Then as we talked about, congested ports are there. They take they take long time to vacate, and country country has a, or you can say there is a problem of dry port. Those countries which are landlocked, like Nepal, Afghanistan, Uruguay, they are landlocked, and Bhutan is there, landlocked. Ultimately, in such cases, the concept of dry port is popular. But in case of ours case, we have only, you can say, Noida dry port. Okay, so then it is this concept is a sort of similar to seaports and dry port. Single factor is that sea is missing, and since we have a long seashores are there, long length of seashores is there. That's why you can say India is developing big ports like Bombay, like Cochin, like Vizag, like Madras, like Calcutta. These are the biggest or you can say largest port, and they are handling a lot of consignments from abroad, and supported by hundreds of smaller ports in India. Like again I would like to add like a flight of talent, brain and skilled worker, they are going outside. So ultimately it is the biggest problem for skilled and trained manpower in case of India. While you can say experts, they are needed, they are missing talent, or you can say talent is needed, they are missing, skilled workers needed, they are missing. So ultimately it is a sort of addition to the problem of exporter or importer in case of international trade. And then biggest thing is that uncertainty. An exporter, an importer, they face a lot of uncertainty. Like in case of every day new rules and regulations, they are coming into picture. New rules and ultimately they have to chalk out program accordingly to new rules and regulation. This is again a new problem. Or we can say that uncertainty regarding rules and regulation, uncertainty about new technology, or you can say there is a fast pace in case of redundancy of new technology, new innovations are there. So how long you can say they can any player can change. Ultimately biggest thing is the cost, or you can say problem of foreign exchange. And even new trends are coming everywhere, new trends are there, whether it is a technology, whether it is a technological upgradation is there, computerization is there, usage of artificial intelligence, digitalization is there, e-commerce is there. Ultimately what is happening, you can say middle channels, they are being wiped out. Again they are adding up the problem to the society, and problems before government, respective governments are developing or least developing country. Okay, because of big players, because of big MNCs and big TNCs, they are adding up problem, or you can say they are exaggerating, they are adding up to the problem in terms of intensity of developing and least developing countries. And then new trends are also products, they are becoming depleting fast. Fashions industry are there, or new innovations they are coming new because of R&D in the developed nations. So they are adding up new researches, new products they are coming into. Ultimately what is happening, consumer may be benefited, but where poverty is there, so it is a sort of big problem. The innovations or computerizations, they are becoming big problem where money is not there, where level of standard is low. So ultimately who is facing problem? Consumer is facing. Small nations, they are facing problem to great extent. Then competition from again big uncertainty is there. Overnight, you can say, if you go through newspapers and news channels, new arrivals are there. So lot of uncertainty there. Uncertainty, uninterrupted supply of raw material. raw material. If we are getting from domestic market, it may be higher and lower. If we are importing, again big problem. We are getting foreign exchange, we have to give them foreign exchange, ultimately adding up to the cost of product and services. Okay, and then planners go okay, in this way, because of uncertainty, they are simply restricted to short-term measures. They cannot think of 5 years, 7 years, or 10 years, or longer-term investment, or any policies and program is there. So they are just falling into the trap of short-term measures. They cannot think of beyond. Ultimately, what is there? Myopic is there. Conceptually, it is a myopic, but they are victim of uncertainty, victim of players, many players, strong players. So ultimately, who is going to help? It is only government. It is only government, or you can say not only financial help. Government has to help in terms of marketing, in terms of promotion, like brand of made in India. India is a brand, so it must be promoted like anything. The only entity is there, government is there. If they want to have a developed system, they have to invest in or you can say in infrastructures. ICT, roads are there, railway is there, air, civil aviation is there. So ultimately our supply chain is there, better ports, better airports. To just offset uncertainty, lot of measure has to be taken on the part of individual, on the part of government and private sector and public sector. Like decisions taken by strategic managers more than 5 years always have to stress on. Along with that, I want to say, like along with short-term measures, while they are facing uncertainty, they have to chalk out strategic plannings. They have to take a strategic decision to offset whatever problems are there in case of international trade. Another one, then socio-cultural factors, like in case of external environmental factors, socio-cultural factors, they are too becoming a big problem. Socio-cultural factors, like in case of third world, or in case of developing nations like India, we have large number of culture of Kerala, Punjab, Haryana, Karnataka, Mysore, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Jammu Kashmir or Northeast. So they are also getting problem from you can say competition and because of global pressure. In this process, the smaller cultures are being killed by the big cultures. Those who have, you can say, worldwide acceptance is there. So certainly they are affected to great extent, and ultimately small cultures are being killed. Languages are being killed. Though sometimes you can say such type of groups, they feel pressure and some sort of anxiety is there. And then like several concepts are there. They are dominating, like westernization. Culture of Western or European nation, it is coming into are playing their own game in third world countries or developing country or least developing countries. So they are playing their own game, and ultimately it is being played by the big multinational corporation, global corporations and big players. And another one, like Americanization. Americans Americans' policies and programs, they dominate like anything. Their thinking process there, their collaborations are there, they dictate like anything, they are powerful. And ultimately what is happening is small players facing lot of problem. Like in case of Walmart, it is also known as a Walmartization. Walmartization. Again, it is a big problem because they open a big mega or giant retail, and they buy you can say land and spots, local spots in that area, in the vicinity and neighborhood of their retail. Ultimately what is going on, the small players, they just left, they leave, or you can say they went and they have gone away, and such type of behaviors they have been observed where Walmart has played or opened their chain. And another one like McDonaldization. Again, it is a sort of a symbol of imperialism, Western imperialism or American imperialism or global imperialism is there. So certainly they are again affecting business to great extent. Ultimately, a small player is biggest sufferer. And then Disneyfication, another factors. Like in case of France, when it was there to open their outlet at Paris and we can say that in France. So what happened? That French people reacted that it is a sort of disaster in you can say it is being Disney parks are being opened in France. Okay. So they said that cultural disaster. Okay. Then another one, not only this, small players, small multinationals, they are coming from smaller nations like Singapore, like Philippines, like Vietnam, Thailand, Taiwan. To smaller, like from India, like from Brazil or South Africa. So they are also providing a sort of tough competition. The smaller MNCs like India is growing biggest growing area, and you can say strong players like in case of Tata, in case of Bajaj, Hero, Munjal are there. Then they are getting tough competition from such type of players. Okay friends, another point is, or you can say biggest hurdle or barrier is, or problem is in case of international trade barriers. They are obstructing trade, international trade to great extent. Like tariff barriers are there. While we are importing or exporting, tariff are being imposed by the developing and developed nations to protect their industry, to protect their foreign exchange reserve, or to protect their employment. Ultimately, what is happening in case of two types of barriers are there. Tariff barriers, like in terms of cess, in terms of duty, or you can say like anti-dumping duty, countervailing duty, ad valorem duties are being imposed in export and import. Like countervailing duty is there. Those products which are subsidized to great extent, like in case of China, they are subsidizing their ventures to great extent. Even their cost of production is not known to the world. So ultimately, and you can say to counter that, you can say countervailing is duty is being imposed. Or in case of anti-dumping duties, when products are being supplied or exported below the cost of production, then certainly you can say our affected person is imposing duty to counter that, known as a anti-dumping duty. Another one, according to value, when according to value are being imposed over import and export, and certainly they are known as the ad valorem duties. And another important point is that because of this one, non-tariff barriers are there. They are in thousands, up to 40,000 non-tariff barriers are there. Again, two types of non-tariff barriers are there between the nations. Non-tariff barriers are being imposed, and another one, more lethal one, is a company to company non-tariff barriers are there. They cannot be such type of barriers. They cannot be challenged anywhere because they are between company to company. Standard or you can say common non-tariff barriers are like child labor is there, child labor, and you cannot employ child labor. Like in case of carpet weaving, or you can say cracker industry, it is one of the most easiest way to employ child labor. But all over the world, it has been banned that don't use child labor. Another one is standards. Like product standards there, in terms of quality control, in terms of quality standards are there, and such type of standards they are being imposed. Especially food items are there, or you can say other products may be there. Then environmental norms are there. Every member country of WTO has to follow certain environmental norms are there. Then labor norms are there. And another one is that azo dyes is being banned, or traces of chemical if they are found, if such type of chemical are being found in food products, certainly products can be banned. And another one, like in case of chili, red chili, and certain dyes were Sudan red was found, ultimately consignment from certain companies was banned on it. We can see that such type of barriers, they are popular nowadays by you can say importing country. They imposed on you can say this way or that way. Ultimately it is one of the biggest hurdle, biggest problem in case of international trade. And then sometimes unpredictable things they come, like nature is one of the biggest problem nowadays, like climatic change. They are creating problem in case of shipping, in case of international transportation. So they are also becoming a sort of hurdle in conducting international trade. And with these words, I am just closing my talk with yourself. Okay, thank you very much.